Hello everybody, welcome back to Azure Beats channel. I'm bringing this video back, re-recording it, redoing it all with nice new production quality because some people were saying it sounded great, some great ideas, but no one could hear what I was saying, and I sounded a little distracted because I was trying to play a game at the same time that I was trying to record a video. So, I'm gonna go back, redo this video with some real production quality and some actual video editing. So, what's the video about? Companions in Warframe. Why am I talking about companions? Okay, first, I like companions. They're really cool. They add another thing that you can play with, and given the context of Warframe, most of Warframe's gameplay element comes in all the stuff that you can get. And companions are another thing that you can get. They add to the Warframes, which means that it's important for gameplay stuff, and I like them. They're cool little additions. The thing is that at the moment there's only one good one, and everyone uses that, and that one is Carrier. Now, why do people use Carrier? Well, the simple reason is Vacuum is the best preset. Why is that? There's a couple big reasons. Number one, Vacuum is something that's completely unique to Carrier. Nothing else gives you the same effect as Vacuum. You can't get it from another Warframe. You can't get it from another Sentinel. There's no mods that give it to you. It's only Carrier and it's only Vacuum that lets you do that thing. And the reason you want that especially is because it lets you run around and not have to, you don't have to go chasing ammo pickups especially. I did some testing, and if you watch the footage that I will be rolling in the background, you'll see that I tend to run out. I actually was kind of testing that to see if, when I was using just pistols, a pair of Akimbo Axiomatas. I was testing that out, and I think all 3 times that I went through this Tower of One Exterminate, I ran out of ammo when I was not using Vacuum. I was still using Carrier and everything to kind of keep things the same. So you have a big problem there, is that that's an irreplaceable part of gameplay. You need it to be able to play smoothly, to not be chasing ammo around. And not having that really does impact your ability to play effectively. I've even run out of ammo for a bow while not running Vacuum, but you can keep up with the Vacuum. So that's the reason why everyone uses Carrier. I probably don't really need to spend too much time on that because you already know why you use Carrier, and you probably use Carrier 80 to 90% of the time that you play Warframe. So other companions, though, have some abilities that could be really good, but they're just overshadowed by other things. And you want more variety. This is something that DE is recognizing. They are working at trying to make mods less mandatory, so you don't have to have serration and split chamber. Because when it comes right down to it, you could increase the damage by the amount that serration and split chamber increases it by and delete 2 mod slots, and pretty much nothing would change in this game. So yeah, variety is a good thing. DE is working towards that. They also, having more choices means you have more interesting gameplay. You have more different ways you can play the game, and that generates more fun, really, as far as the game goes. And more options is also more stuff to get and use. Mastery rank is the only real reason to get a death cube right now. And frankly, I'd like to have a good reason to use my death cube other than mastery rank. So, introduction out of the way. What's my proposal for creating more companion variety and gameplay choices and depth? Okay, first thing is companions need to become interactive. You add another ability key. Yeah, another one. Which would bring us up to a whopping 6 different abilities. If you haven't played Second Dream, ignore that part. So, add another ability key. This ability key would be there to do whatever it is that your particular companion does with that ability. Bring up ideas later. So, also, I think it would be best to change companions to work like Warframes. They just gain levels and they gain their abilities with their levels passively. For those people who want to make their companions not shoot, just take the gun off and they won't shoot. It's pretty simple. They would still act according to, well, I'll get into that later. So, new Sentinel design. With the changing things to the standard leveling system, you're obviously getting rid of the attack precept as a separate item. They'd probably still keep the same behavior because there's reasons for those Sentinels to have certain behaviors. But make that behavior not scale with level. You're already scaling the weapon with levels. You don't need to scale the precept as well. So, vacuum gets removed from carrier. It becomes a default thing. Every Warframe, and especially every Archwing, it's an innate thing that it's a part of the game mechanics. You run around and you get some vacuum stuff. As far as carrier goes, carrier should, and there's a Reddit post that I read a while back that I really like the idea of, where carrier carries stuff for you. You pick up energy orbs. If you have full energy, this carrier will pick up a certain number of things for you. And when you need that, it'll drop it for you. In addition to that, every Sentinel should have an ability, a command ability that you can order with this new companion command key. Probably, I would prefer that it actually runs off of your own energy pool, because the other alternative is that it's cooldown based. Otherwise, you could just spam it if it's a spammable type thing. So some examples like Worm can have crowd dispersion as an ability that you just smack and it goes boom and knocks everyone back. That's something that I would like because I play a lot of melee. I like playing melee. And I don't want my Sentinel knocking everything away from me when I'm getting into the melee mode, right? But sometimes if I'm getting swarmed, I want to be able to just push the button and, oh hey, y'all can stop just piling on me now. There are 2 Sentinels that have more than one non-attack precept. Helios and Durja. Helios, for the scanning precept, that can kind of stay a passive thing that it does. Durja, though, has a thing where both of those precepts are really good actives. That's a sort of balance issue, and I'm not... Whatever that works. Other things that would work really well as just direct things. Fatal Attraction. Fatal Attraction would be a great thing to have as far as being able to disable a whole bunch of people around you. Vaporize from Death Cube would be great, especially if it got a significant range buff. As far as other things, weapons, it's really annoying having to level up a whole second set of weapon mods, but that would just be because I'm a noob and don't have 1.5 million credits sitting in an account. Because I don't. And I know that there's a lot of people who do, but so that's not all that likely to happen because it's a whole set of mods that normally the reasons for not letting you double up mods makes sense, basically. Now, animal companions. We've got Kubros now, we're getting Kavats. Kubros, of course, have a lot of issues. There is, as I've heard, going to be an AI update with Kavats that is going to get applied to Kubros as well. Now, I don't know what that's going to entail because there's very little actual information about these things. But Kubros then have their own issues right now. They have AI issues, and I understand that DE is going to be adding, when they add Kavats, they're going to be applying Kubro AI updates as well. But not knowing really what that's going to involve, I'm going to make my own suggestions here. So, the problems with Kubros right now, they're really unreliable. What they do is kind of unpredictable. You can't really base any aspect of your gameplay on Kubros doing any particular thing. Unless it's nothing, in which case you're pretty guaranteed of that. So, to start with, basic ideas for how AI could work out. You have prioritized behaviors, basically 3 levels. The lowest level would be basically passive, and this would be abilities like dig on one of the Kubros where it just digs and unearths a bunch of ammo and energy orbs and whatever that sort of thing is. And then you have combat stuff where it does combat things. Duh. And then the final thing, the highest priority thing that it will do is take commands. So that companion key that I mentioned before, when you use it with a Kubro, it's basically sort of a point type of ability. You point your Kubro at something, and it, based on kind of the context of what you've pointed it at, it engages in some behavior. So you point at an enemy, it goes and attacks the enemy. If it has an offensive ability like disarm or growl to like terrify things, it goes and does that and then attacks. And it'll keep doing that until you tell it to do something else. Non-combat abilities would act the same way. If you point at an object like, say, a storage locker, it'll go and you have the right upgrade equipped or possibly trained. There's an idea that I've had. Where you train Kubros instead of equipping upgrades. But it goes and it scraps at the locker and tries to unlock it. You point at, for like the fetching Kubro, if someone marks a mod out on a map, it goes out and it gets that mod and picks it up for you, rather than you having to go there to give you an actual reason to use that Kubro. So there's the, okay, here's how to fix Kubros. The other thing too would be that unless you give them an attack order, they kind of stay in a certain area around you. So, they'll engage things, they'll engage in passive behavior within a very defined area. So that way they're not running off like they are now, where they just kind of go off and disappear somewhere on the map. They stick next to you unless you tell them to go away from you. And then if you tell them to do something, they keep doing it until they stop. Or until they finish that, or until you give them a new order. So that's the Kubro solution set that I kind of like the idea of. Kavats. Not a lot of information out about them. I was kind of waiting to see if 18.5 they'd actually kind of bring out some solid information about what they're going to do. But I'll make a few guesses. You probably aren't going to be able, like in this case, you wouldn't be able to order them to do things. They're cats, and cats are dicks. Cats don't take orders from nobody. So I would figure they would probably just follow you around and act as just passive combat buddies, perhaps. And this is kind of where I'm not really certain what they would do. Perhaps their sort of cat design means that when you're maneuvering, like in bullet jumps and wall runs and whatnot, that they'll be able to follow you. That'd be cool, especially if Kubros still can't post AI of enhancement. The biggest thing for me though is, what are they going to do? Are they going to do something different than what Kubros and Sentinels are already doing? Because the two of those actually really overlap a lot. You've got the pickup Kubro and pickup Sentinel, and you've got the stealth Kubro and the stealth Sentinel, so on and so forth. So that's questions that I want to know more information about what these things are actually supposed to do when they come out. And then maybe I'll talk more about that. So, basically, things I want to promote with this idea. More gameplay depth, more choices to make, more meaningful choices to make, both in the sort of meta game, in terms of choosing what you use, and in an actual mission, choosing things that you can do. Those are both things that I want to see become more interactive, less just passive, oh hey, this thing is happening. And as far as DE's compulsive need to have new content, this can be an event or a quest. Go out and get these new Kubro training manuals from Oloric and stuff. We can get these primed Kubros that can follow. No, don't do primed Kubros, please. But here's a quest where you can train our Kubros to follow orders. So that's all for me. I hope you liked the video. Hope you liked the redone high quality edit version. I would love to hear I'd love to hear discussion about this thing from pretty much anybody. I'll put up sort of the clip notes in a Google Docs link underneath the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.